Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to do a quick tag video. I was tagged by the lovely Lesley Adina to do the luxury items I regret not buying tag. Thought this was a really fun video and it really got me thinking to see if there are those pieces that I feel like forever got away. So I thought about it and I do have a few pieces that I regret not buying. I do want to tag a few people as well. So I will leave all of those folks who are tagged in the description box down below. And of course, anybody else, if you want to do this video, or even if you just want to let me know the items that you regret not buying in the comments down below, I would love to hear what you have to say as well. So before I jump right into sharing all of those items, I did want to mention that I had a hard time thinking about these items. I really struggled. There was like one or two that came up, like kind of jumped into my mind, but it wasn't that... It wasn't really like I had a running list of items, and I think that's because the way that I shop, it's pretty instinctive, if that makes sense. I tend to know what I like, and if I see it, I know that's something that I would want versus not. So even if it is like a design that I absolutely love, if there is something about it that I know I won't get along with, like it's too heavy or it's too cumbersome or whatever it might be, then I already know I'm not going to enjoy that piece as much, and I kind of let it go. I'm able to really quickly let it go, and I know if I really like it that I will just pick it up regardless, usually right then and there. So I just wanted to preface that. I feel like the videos that I've seen so far have like a large variety of items, but I don't really have that. There still are a few pieces that for one reason or another I didn't get, and I really wish I have them now. So the first item is actually from Dior. I recently did a bring it back kind of video where I shared some discontinued pieces that I wish luxury houses would bring back, and I featured this piece in that video as well. So this might not be a surprise to a lot of you, but it is actually a Lady Dior in a lilac. The specific one that I had seen but passed up on was the patent leather. I love that one. It doesn't have to be patent. I think it's more about the actual color. The lilac purple soft pastel color is just everything. And I think that came out 2015 or 2016-ish, but it is, of course, that was part of like a seasonal collection. I missed out on it then. Well, more accurately, I couldn't afford it then, so I couldn't get it even if I wanted to. And then that is an item that periodically it will come back into my mind. It'll creep back up there, and I'm like, oh yeah. I really wish I got that at that time. I still imagine myself, like sometimes I'll wear certain outfits and I'm like, oh, you know what would go really well with this? That lilac Lady Dior that I don't have. So that's definitely the first one that immediately came to my mind. The next item is from Chanel, and if I can find a photo, I will do my best to insert the photo so you have a reference of what I'm talking about. But around 2015, 2016 again, and that collection had this metallic silver square mini, and it was gorgeous. It was just so stunning. I remember I just saw it and I was like, wow. And this is like not too long after I got my silver Hermes Oran sandals, and that's when I started realizing that metallics work as a really great neutral color in any wardrobe. It was the 57th Street like flagship boutique here in New York City. I just like walked in because I was in the area. I saw it, I fell in love. I was thinking about it, but I don't know. And like now the cost of minis is like really crazy, right? So if I think about 2015, 2016 price, it probably was better to get it then. But I think the biggest hang up I had at the time was whether or not I would really like this square mini. I personally prefer the rectangular mini size, just the orientation of the bag itself, because it mimics the classic shapes a little bit more rather than the square size. So that's what I was like umming and ahhing about, wasn't so sure about, and I decided to pass up on it. And that's pretty much the only Chanel bag that ever really creeps up in my mind where I'm like, oh, you know, like, remember when you saw that and you didn't get it? That's pretty much the only bag that does that. The next piece is a more recent piece. I know I've been talking about things from like 5 years ago. This is more recent. I believe they came out last year. It's the Fendi sneakers with the mink fur on it with the FF motif. I don't actually know the official name of that style. I just remember seeing it a lot. Every time I saw them, I wanted it. Like, I'm like, oh wow, these just look so, they look really comfortable, they look really chic. There's just something about them that I was really drawn to, but never got them. You know what I did? I purposefully never allowed myself to try them on because I knew once I tried them on that I would actually really want them, and then I'd get stuck in a place of like, do I buy them or do I not buy them? Having these really fluffy shoes in New York City and walking around in them and them getting all grimy and everything. So every time I saw them, I would have that same conversation with myself, and I would tell myself not to try them on. I would tell myself that I don't really need them. But they still creep up in my mind, okay? They do. I don't have any real designer sneakers in my collection, and I've been looking for a pair for a while now, honestly, but the quest continues for the perfect pair of sneakers. But this Fendi pair, it does come up, it creeps up time and time again in my mind. Speaking of Fendi, when I was in Hawaii a couple of years ago, I remember I saw this beautiful, I think it's called the selleria line, something like that. It's their gorgeous, like supple hand-stitched leather line. When I was in Hawaii, I saw this gorgeous wallet, like zip pouch kind of a thing. It was an SLG basically in this beautiful turquoise blue color. It was so pretty. It was so pretty. I convinced myself I didn't need to get it because I didn't really need another wallet. I don't want to get in the habit of, you know, having a whole bunch of SLGs that I don't get to work through. And I also thought, you know, oh, there's Fendi boutiques in New York, and so I could probably check it out to see, you know, when I'm ready to get a new SLG, I can check it out to see and get a another selleria piece. Selleria. I'm just gonna say selleria. It might be wrong, but I hope everybody understands what I'm talking about. Lo and behold, sure, there are boutiques in New York City. Sure, they sell Fendi in a lot of department stores, but for whatever reason, I do not see a lot of that selleria line. It's like rare. It's like super rare. I haven't been able to see that one ever again. And that one definitely comes up in my mind. I know the next time I go to Hawaii, I am definitely walking into that Fendi boutique and checking out what other selleria pieces they have, because I realized how rare they are for me to come across, at least. They might be a little bit more popular in Europe and Asia, perhaps. They might not be like the most popular line in the States. Maybe that's why we don't see them as much. At least in New York City, I'm having a hard time finding those. So that's another one. So the last item that I regret not buying is actually an Hermes piece. This is also a recent item, so I think I have a few more chances potentially to still pick it up if I really want to. But it is the Hermes Jumping Bag. This is a new style of bag, at least it's new to me. I saw it earlier this year in February before all of the madness in the world started to unfold. I just really loved how fun this piece was. It has 3 colors on it. So the one that I saw was like a bright red, and then there was a contrasting pink, and then on the very top spine there was also, it was like a pink and brown twirl. So there was also some brown in there. It was so fun. The whole bag was really fun, and it was like this half moon shape. You know, if you think about like the watermelon sour candies, it looks like that same shape. just like a strap attached to it, and it was super supple. The leather was gorgeous. I loved that there was a flap you could put over the top, and there was no branding. It was very discreet. You could turn the flap back and you would see it was like a little round piece, and it said Hermes. It was still very subtle, but if you wanted to show a different side of the bag, you could. At the time, I decided to pause on it because I was expecting the Chanel Spring Summer collection to come through in like a few weeks. I had pre-ordered some pieces from that collection, so I knew that they were coming, and I didn't want to add too many bags and things to my collection at the same time. So I let that one go. I do think it is a newer style of bag that Hermes will continue to come out with, and so I'm looking forward to maybe seeing some additional colors come out in the future and see if, you know, it's a better time to add one then. But I think it's mostly that red color that I'm really missing, that I'm really wishing I had in my collection. And so it creeps up in my mind sometimes. All right, so that's everything. Those are the top luxury items I regret not buying, and I wish I had them in my collection. Who knows, with some time, maybe I'm able to find them and be able to eventually add them to my collection. We shall see. As I mentioned earlier, I will tag some folks in the description box down below, so please check that out and do this video if you would like. Maybe you don't do videos, so if you just want to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, I would love to hear the pieces that you feel like you missed out on. If you have any questions on any of these items, or really anything at all, feel free to leave them down below or head on over to Instagram, and I'd be happy to help however I can. If you like this video and you would like me to do more tag videos, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate your feedback and support. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I post new videos every Sunday. So until next time,